So yeah, make sure that you have some good scissors. Otherwise, your everything's gonna be tattered. It's just not gonna work, and you will be so frustrated because those scissors will not cut cleanly and finely through uh, your pattern. I will tell you that I stopped the video to put some lotion on because I can tell that there's probably some sorrows out there that was looking extra hard at my hands and probably said, "Oh, she needs some lotion on." So I went on and put some lotion on. Okay. Meanwhile, let's just go ahead and get started here. So this is what I normally do. I will take my t-shirt and I will literally just fold it in half right here. And I hate to cut this t-shirt up, but this is okay. This is okay. I'll be fine with this. And so I'll cut it in half and I will put my t-shirt on. I'm gonna turn this over so it can line up against the markings here. I pull it over a little bit so you can see it. And the edge of my t-shirt right here is gonna go on the 0 because that's where I will be cutting. I'll cut right on the 0. And what I'm gonna do, if you can see, I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. If you can see, right here, starting on the 0. Let me move over this way. Here you go. And then I'm just gonna cut. I'm gonna count it down here, and you'll notice I'll start right here on the 14. Okay, so I'm gonna go down from 0 all the way to 14 because I want my pillow to be as large as, for sure, 12 inches. And I am going to continue on and show you how we can accomplish that. So you have your little lines in there to keep up with. So you'll definitely see how it's clean and smooth. Those scissors go through that material. I mean, it just keeps the frustration level down. Especially after you've seen that someone was using your scissors to do whatever. And then you just put that over to the side. So that's 14 down. And then we've got to go 7 up because 7 plus 7 is what? 14. So we're going to come down and we're going to find 7 is up here. See right here? That's where 7 is. And I'm going to cut from the 7 all the way down until I get to the 14. Actually, I'm going to cut up. Okay? Actually, I'm going to cut up right up here. I'm going to measure that back up there and put this back on 14 down here where we had it. So I'm going to take the 7, which is right here, and we're going to go up. It's this one right here. And we're going to stay on that line, and we're going to work our way all the way up on this line here. Okay? You can see the line in here once you cut it and kind of move the material out of the way. And this guide will take you all the way to heaven because it'll keep you on track of where you need to go. So I've cut off 7 there. Okay. So you have some really nice clean lines there. And then I'll turn this around this way. And I'll go back up here to where the 0 where it was. And I'm right up underneath the neck right here. And I'm just going to cut over and cut all of this off right here. Cut this neck part off right there. Ooh, these scissors even go through the toughest of materials because no one is living in my house anymore. My daughters are gone. And I have full reign of my scissors. Ooh. So that's a good thing. So now what we have here is just the foundation for our shirts. I mean, well, for our pillow. 14 inches by 14 inches. I'll put it down here so you can see it. 14 by 14. And it's not perfect. And nobody asked you to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfection. It's just there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back through on this side because I can see where it kind of got off track a little bit. And I'm going to cut off some of this little extra piece right here. Ooh, you see how the sound that those scissors cutting through that material. Oh, it sounds like you're getting ready to eat a piece of chicken, piece of fried chicken from Golden Chick or somewhere like that. Just makes you want to just ooh. Okay, and then I see some other little stray over here at the top. I'm just gonna kind of clean that up a little bit right there. Okay, so that's it. Now I could actually go all the way around here and just go edge to edge. But what I think I want to do is I want to add like some little frizz, you know, like some little fringes on here. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to just sew right in here. I'm going to sew about 2 inches in. Instead of 14, I'll be making it 12 by 12. Okay. And Kenny is going to work with us and show us, and I'll show you on Kenny how we actually can do that. All right. Let's just stop right here and we can get to the sewing machine and we can show you how that all works. Okay. All right. Before we go back to the sewing machine or get to the sewing machine, I wanted to show you guys what product that I use. I think it's this backwards, but it's a polyfill. And I usually buy a big, large box of this because I do several projects. And it comes in a material like this. You know, it's real fluffy and it's really cool. So this is what we're going to put in our shirt. Now, for those of you all that don't know very much about a sewing machine or don't know anything about a sewing machine, again, this is a Kenmore, but this one is, you know, again, this one is a little older. A lot of them now are have a lot of electronics and all of that stuff on there, but I've really just grown to love the simplicity of this sewing machine. It has what I need on it. And I'm not a seamstress by any means, but I have made clothes before, and I like to make skirts and some lounge around pants if my family asks me for any, if they need a new set of lounge pants, my little t-shirt blankets. But here on this particular Kenmore, you can just have the different type of stretches that you want to use. If you have some material that's stretchy, you can turn it to that. You can turn, and this is a tension, how much tension you're going to put into your materials. And then this over here, which I actually need to change this to show that I am going to just do straight stitches right there. I'm not going to do any kind of zigzag. It's got all of this stuff on there. And with the new machine, this is the tension as well. This tells you how much thread you're going to be using per centimeter or whatever. And then you got your little button slot right there. So this part right here is just a straight stitch. And I also like to stitch between 2 and 3. I think 3 is a little long and 2 is kind of a little short, and make it a little bunchy depending on the material. So I usually have this set between 2 and 3. It's just my personal preference. Again, the tension is here, how tight you want your thread to pull. And so the way that I do this, if I need some additional thread down here, this is where I add my bobbin thread. I can take that out if I run out of thread, which I have a feeling I'm going to be running out of thread because I have been working on that blanket with this same color thread, and I didn't change the thread color. It'll just be black. Put that there. I usually keep some of my little handy dandy stuff that I need if I need to use a thimble to pull something out. I have some thread already threaded on some of these little bobbins that I have in here. Some white. Got some blue. I have seam rippers in here just in case I need to take something out, which I do have to do that sometimes. And then, so what I would do on this particular one, I would take my thread, I'd put it here. I already have enough thread here. I would put my thread on my bobbin here. And I would just run this thread down through here, get the tension. I like the tension between 2 and 3. And you see over here where it kind of goes up like that. I'll put that thread through there and run it down. And then I'll close it up. And luckily and fortunately, I could still see to get this little, to get that in there. But man, it's getting hard. It's getting harder and harder every year. So there is a little piece of, let me see if I can find it in here. There is a little threader that you can use to actually, because hopefully folks just got bad eyes. But this is a little threader that you could use. I'm going to put it up against here. I don't know if you can see it here. But you stick your thread in there and hold it and run that little thing right in that hole and pull your thread out through there. So I found myself having to use that periodically. But I'm still on the, on the upstroke on that. But here's my little, sometimes I got to rip some seams where I've made mistakes. So anyway, and then this brings your presser foot up and down, which we're going to use that on our little project. And then you'll notice here on sewing machines, they give you a little guide button right there. Hopefully you all can see that. Can you see that? You have your guide and tell you how many inches, 1/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, or whatever. We'll do that. This right here, you'll need this because that's what you push. And some of them, kind of more electronic. You don't have to push it like that. You can do some other little fancy stuff. But I would just push this right here as I'm beginning my sewing, and at the end of the material, I'll hit that so it can kind of go back and forth and reinforce everything. So that's that. Let's move on. Okay, so I think I've gotten everything adjusted. I hope we can see. You can see everything. I'm going to try to turn it around this way so you can see what we got going on. So we're going to take our t-shirt, and again, this is a really, really quick way. If I were going to sew this on the end, I would actually turn this inside out, and then I would do all of my sewing on the inside. But because I think we're going to fringe it and we're just going to kind of cut it down a little bit, I'm going to sew each one of these pieces together here. And I got just a tiny bit of this thing on here. I'm going to cut some of this off right here. I'm going to cut just a little bit of that off of that right there. Okay. And so I am going to put my pieces together. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be together. Since there's no such thing as perfection, but we do try our best. We try to get to it as closely as we can. At least I do. If you don't, I just don't believe in just total perfection. I do believe in just doing your very best. Okay. So, have a high level of expectation, but don't wig out when it just don't work out all the way. Let's just enjoy this life. Let's enjoy this time that we have. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to start back here. I'm not gonna start all the way to the edge because I found that when I start on the edge, it just gets kind of weird. So I'm going to go a whole full inch of 5/8 out here on my threading. I am going to press a foot down, find my little foot down here on the ground. I actually hold this little piece down because sometimes I'll make a mistake where this is not up and ready to go. Okay. See this part up here? If that's not up and ready to go, and if I push down, it'll pull up. And if I have not done my due diligence to make sure that this is ready to go, this will actually come up back up out of there. And then I have to rethread this little thing again, which I really don't want to do. So I have to make sure that it's down and it's ready to go. And I've actually put it down in there once, so we know that it's ready. I'm on my straight line here, and I am going to just simply start sewing. See how I'm going to go back a little bit? And I'm going to take that all the way to the end. Then look, my girl, Kenny, she's a little loud now. She used to be so smooth, kind of like a Tesla. Back in the old days, now she's an old kind of like an old Chevrolet 40 or 150. And she kind of gets a little loud. She kind of talks to me a little bit. But that's okay. This is my girl. We're still together. As long as she's doing her part, as long as I'm doing my part and taking care of her. I do take my sewing machine to the sewing machine shop, and I have them to do a checkup on her about every couple of years or so if I notice it. She's kind of whining a little bit. Okay. So let's just go ahead and finish this up. And I'm not going to go all the way to the end, but what I will do is bring this down, make sure it's down in the material. I will bring this up, and now I'm going to turn. Okay. I'm going to turn, and I'm going to do it again. Kind of guiding it along. I'm not going to go all the way down. I will make sure that's down in there, and I'm going to turn again. Continue on. Oh, see how things can happen? Something happened here that brought me my machine to a little halt, and that's because this came out of here, and I'm gonna, how sometimes your children embarrass you in front of everybody, and you can't whoop them right then. You have to wait till you get home. This is kind of like one of those little situations in that there is something going on. Let's keep going and let's see what happens. Now this will do that whenever I have a feeling I'm running out of thread underneath where the bobbin is. And let's see how long it'll take us. Come on, Kenny, you can do it. Come on, stay with me now. I have to talk to her just like I have to talk to my children. Tell my children to stay with me. Oh yeah, that's what happened. Remember I said that I was hoping I would have enough thread in my bobbin to finish on. See how that didn't finish out right there? Let me move it over here. See how that actually stopped sewing right there because I ran out of thread back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to rethread my bobbin. And I'll get back with you in just a second. Okay, so as I was getting everything all fixed up here, I did find that it was not the bobbin that was loose or anything like that, or I didn't lose any thread. I still had thread in there. So I'm not real sure why this sewing machine wanted to act like that in public. So I have to say, me and Kenny, we're going to have a little conversation after we get off of this thing here. I am not going to, I'm just going to turn it over. I'm going to turn over my thread. I don't understand. I don't understand why you would do that. So anyway, we're going to have a conversation about that later on. So meanwhile, I have this part done. I'm going to go back and go back to where we were before we were rudely interrupted. I'm going to go ahead and finish this out. She's kind of fussing right now. She's a little loud. That's okay. That's my girl. She could be a little loud. I like loud sometimes. And then I am going to go through. This is the last side, so I'm not going to do the whole side. And what I'll do is I'll stop right here. Can you all see that? I'll stop right there. And we'll stop right there, and we will see how I had to kind of lift that up out of the way. And by the way, these little pieces on this little thing that's underneath this presser foot, this right here, it helps move the material back. It goes back and like pushes the material back. So that's a very helpful, very thoughtful thing to do. So now what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do with this, because I designed it this way, I am going to, in the end, I'm going to make some little fringes. See how I'm cutting these little fringes right here? Y'all see that? That's the way I'm going to do this pillow. I mean, it's kind of simple. So what I'm going to do now is, Kenny, I'm going to let you sit over here out of the way. Because see, you've been messing around. You got trying to embarrass me in front of my friends, but that's okay. They understand. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is get my little polyfill and move this right here, this little camera right here. Get my polyfill, and I'm just gonna fill this in right here for the people, for the sorors. I mean, this is real simple, and this is a small pillow. This is not even like, this is like just something that you rest your head on when you get ready to go out of town. You get in your car and you need something to kind of prop your neck up. And so I have my polyfill here, and I take it, put it in, push it all the way to the back. Push it all the way in, ladies. Don't be afraid to try a little project like this. This is so relaxing, and you can see your work very quickly. That's what I like about teaching. I like about doing little projects like this, because you can see your work, you know, right as you're doing it. And the person that I probably sew for the most now is my little mini Gigi baby. She likes for me to make stuff like this for her room. And also, don't forget to push this stuff way up here on the edge. They have, in some of those polyfill bags that you can buy, they have like a little stick. Well, it'll make you push it all the way to the edge. And we want to do the same thing for this side. We want to push it all the way to the edge. Oh, this is going to be so cute. Okay. It's going to be adorable. All right. I think I'll put a little bit more in there. Just a little bit more. You want to overfill it. And by the way, you can wash this. You can give these as little gifts for people. I might give this one to one of my sorors that was special ed. It is still in special ed. And I don't think I've ever given her anything like, really homemade, handmade. But I think that she would love this because she's a special ed teacher. And she's so smart and she's so kind and loving. And I have a feeling that I'm going to be giving this to her, knowing me, because I'm always trying to give stuff away. But then again, I might keep it. And when I go on my little trips, I can use this as my little special pillow that I have behind my head as my husband is driving along. Instead of having my head all bent and turned over, all crazy like. So anyway, you can go in here and get it all cleaned up and make sure that it's kind of as even as you possibly can. But you can manipulate it some more as when we get ready to sew it together. Okay. So look, I got all this little stuff on here. This is when Kenny was trying to show out over here. We got that on there. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and just finish sewing it. We're going to take it and we're going to finish sewing this down. And again, everything does not have to be just so perfect in a way that we're going to be feeling all, like you didn't accomplish anything, because this is an accomplishment. And so let's finish this up right here. All right, Kenny, you better get it together, girl. You better be glad I'm not even trying to be mad right now, and I'm in a demonstration situation, because you know me. Okay, Kenny, let's do this. Let's do this for the sorors. Okay, so I have my foot down. I brought that back down, and I'm pressing down on my presser foot. Well, this is a presser foot, but I'm on my foot down here at the bottom. I'm all lined up, and look, remember, I'm going to go back like I do, and then we're going to go forward. We're going to finish this off. Everything's going to be even here. Make sure everything's even so it can look pretty decent here, right? Make sure all of your materials are even. Up and bring that in so you can turn. Okay, remember we turn, so I'm gonna turn it. I'm just gonna get that caught up with the other one that we did. Okay, thank you, Kenny. You did a great job. See, that's why I love you, because I can depend on you so much. Thank you for finishing that off. Look what we did. I'm just gonna kind of move some of that polyfill around and kind of shove it around in there. Take off some of this little extra threading here. Okay, I mean, this is just like so simple. And you'll just kind of move this around in here. Make sure everything's over in the corners. I got some little pockets here. I'm just keep messing around with it, but that's going to take a moment to do. But I do want to get into just trimming this and just cutting all the way around. Not even a whole lot. Cut off some of this little extra thread right here. You see, I have not even had any trouble with these scissors. I'm telling you, you got to get a good pair of scissors. Do not let these people use your scissors because shoestrings. I found my scissors in the kitchen. Somebody used them to cut some chicken. I mean, it's just too much. And it's just like, wait a minute, people. These scissors cost quite a bit of money. You might pay like, or you can pay almost, I don't know how much. And I probably paid $12 or $15 for this. This is not a joke right here, guys. This is like you need some good scissors, okay? Go to the store and see how much they cost. I mean, it's just, they don't play. It's just not that's part of your success. Is having some good scissors. Now see how I'm just cutting these little fringes on here? And it's going to be real cute. And if I decide to give this to the Sarah who I love so much, oh, I hope she will enjoy this because she worked and did not ISD in the special ed department. And she's just such a totally awesome person. Okay. Look at this. I'm going to work it to the end. I didn't know if I wanted to just spend all this time doing this, but I think that it's not going to take very long to do this. Look at that. All the little fringes. And, oh, I got 2 more sides. Okay, let me finish this up and I'll get back to you. Okay, well, we're back. Look at this. Awesome. Totally awesome sauce. These fringes are not perfect, but they're just a cute addition to being able to put your head down there just in case you're riding in the car. I love it. So I hope that I've been some help. I hope that you would go and, there I am. I hope that you would go and purchase your sewing machine and get all your necessary equipment and everything. And whenever you have some downtime, some alone time, when you kind of want to spend some time to yourself and see your work and do your thing, and that this is a great way to do that. So I would encourage anyone that has never sewn before to get into this thing. It is so awesome and it's so relaxing and peaceful. So again, happy Sisterhood month. It's been tough on us. I hope that everyone is doing well and taking care of your health and, you know, being the best you every day, okay? All right. Love you, sisters. Take care. Bye-bye.